Yeah. So welcome you for another video. So we will continue from task 3. So we stopped at this task. Let us go with this task now. Now we are already in this DC machine. So this is the DC machine and we are at this PowerShell ISE window. Yes. Now let's execute this command because we have multiple entries. Let me go and yes, let's say Control A, Control C and paste it here. Okay. I made a mistake. There is a password. I have to edit that password. Let me give that password as PASSWORD 1 2 3 4. So what are we doing here is that we are creating a new user called AAD sync user. And then the profile name is this, password is going to be this. And we are creating this user in Azure account, Azure AD user. So let's copy this control and paste it here. Yes, this user account got created. Yeah, so the user got created, AAD sync user. And where this user got created, it is in your Azure account. If you go to Azure account and if you go to users, and you can search for that newly created user, AAD. So AAD sync user is created. We don't have any AD users here because those users are there in our Active Directory, but not in Entra ID. Only AAD user we have created. That's correct. Now let's go and execute some other commands. I'm in my DC machine. Let me execute this command. So this is a single command, even I can directly run it here. That's not a problem. Yeah, so this user account I need for Azure AD Connect. So that time, so let this be here. So it is saying you have to record this user principal name and password. So password, I have given password 1 2 3 4, and this is the user principal name. That's okay. Let it be there. If you want, you can record it somewhere here. That's not a problem. Now let's install Entra Connect or Azure AD Connect. So that is going to be the last task. For that, we need to prepare the environment because we have multiple commands. Let me execute these. Yeah, now let me get all these commands copied and execute it here. There is some error. Delete all. I didn't copy the commands properly, I hope. Yeah, this is done because I had some extra command. That is why that error was thrown. Okay, fine. Now next is this in the Bastion host session, but we have a direct session to this DC machine. In the DC machine, we need to install Microsoft Edge. But anyways, we already have that Microsoft Edge so that you can skip the first two steps. And then we already have this Microsoft Edge. We can start this Microsoft Edge and open portal.azure.com here. See, this is our lab machine. Inside the lab machine, we have a RDP session to DC machine. In here, we have to log in again for our Azure portal. So you have to key in the password. Username is your account. No thanks, and give the password and say sign in. Not now and yes. So we logged in. See, there are multiple environment. One is your machine, and another thing we are in the lab, and this is the lab machine. We have a RDP session here, and in here also we have connected. So don't get confused. So in here now, let's go and search for Entra ID. This is the Entra ID. And in Entra ID, we need to go for Manage section. Under Manage, we need to select Entra Connect. Let's go to Manage and select Entra Connect. This is Microsoft Entra Connect. In here, we need to select Microsoft Entra Connect. Oh, sorry, Cloud Sync. Connect Sync it is, not Cloud Sync. You have to select Connect Sync. And in Connect Sync, you have to download this Entra Connect. And you can click on simply download. It gets downloaded. That is Azure AD Connect or Entra ID Connect. You can say anything. Once it is downloaded, we have to install this. And let's say open. It is preparing to install. Let us wait until it gets successfully installed. Anyways, we click this run and then it is trying to install. What is this AD Connect? Using this particular software only, we have our DC machine and we are going to sync this Active Directory to Entra ID. To do that, we need AD Connect, Azure AD Connect, and that the software is getting installed here. Yeah, let me say I agree. So I need to select I agree and continue. In here, I have to go and select customize. And then without doing any modification, we have to accept the default settings and say install. So a few more steps. AD Connect, Azure AD Connect is getting installed in our DC machine. In this DC machine only, we have our Active Directory, and that Active Directory we have to sync with Azure Cloud. For this, we need the software. Yeah. In here, in the user sign-in page, ensure that password has synchronization is enabled. So this is how the password has to be managed. So our AD users login password also gets synchronized to Azure Cloud. So we get some benefits. So we will be discussing them in the class. And say next. And in here, you have to give the username of AAD sync user. So that AAD sync user you will be having here. Yes, this is the one, AAD sync user. Copy that, come here and paste it. And say next. You need to authenticate. Again, key in that AAD user. And then the password is PA55W.RD1234. And error has occurred. Access denied. Let me say what was that. I hope I gave the global administrator permission to him. Let me verify once. Yeah, that is error. I hope I didn't execute this command. I didn't give the global administrator permission. Okay, fine. Let me do that. This is an error. Let me just go have all this command here. Execute one command at a time. Okay, let me get these commands. Control A, Control C, come back here. Yeah. Now the user has a proper permission to do this. He must be a global administrator. And now we have done all this command execution. Let's once again run this. Let me close this, minimize this as well as this. Okay, let me go and run this AD connect again. Customize, next, next, and then the user ID. I get it here. Let me copy this user ID. Come back here and paste it. Next. To give this user, and this is the password. Say sign in. He's having the enough permission, so now it doesn't throw that error. Make sure that you are executing every command one by one without missing any command. Okay, password has synchronization, and then we have given the credentials. On connect our directories, we have to select add directory. And in here, we need to create a new AD account user. So not existing one, we will create a new AD account, that is Active Directory account. And this is the account username, and this is the password. Everywhere we will be giving this password only, and say okay. Now we can click next and check this box, continue without matching, and say next. fine. Now in here, we need to sync only the selected component, but not all. So we're not going to sync all, only to sync organization unit we are going to sync. Let me verify it on the domain and OU filtering. Clear all checkboxes, select only the checkbox next to sync. So let's do only this sync and click on next. And defaults, we have to accept the default setting and click on next. Here also default settings, click on next. Here also the default settings and click on next and install. Okay, it will take about 5 minutes. Once it is successfully done, we are doing Entra Connect Sync or Azure AD Sync. Once the sync is successful, maybe I can check my Azure account. If I go to Entra ID, in Entra ID, if I go to users, that AD users will be visible here. Right now, we don't have any. Let it get successfully done. Once it is successfully executed, then we can see all the users synchronized here. And that will end our first lab. At the end of this lab, this is what will be your status, that you have created ADDS and you configured it and you synced with Azure Cloud. And then the next thing, you will be creating this. This is where we will be creating our Azure Virtual Desktop so that we can see it in the next window, next videos. It take about 5 minutes. Let us wait. Yes, perfect. The configuration is complete and you can say exit. And when you refresh here, let me refresh it here as well. You might have to wait for a few more minutes as well, just to refresh once. Yeah, you can wait for some more time. And once everything is done, don't forget to save your lab. Don't end. If you end it, then gone. You lost your attempt. you have to save it. Make sure that you're saving it, not ending it. And once you complete it, you can just, by clicking this end, you can end it. Let me just verify one last time. Yeah, that's it. So all these users are synchronized here, and that's it. So congratulations, we have completed successfully. There was some disturbance in between, so I just paused the video and resumed it. And I'm sorry if you're getting some other awkward or different, uh, what was that voice? My owner was disturbing me. That's okay.